here we go. Hello, everyone. We're live. We're live. He hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just like the old geriatric bloke down at the old people's home. He's just happy to. He's just happy to be involved. Yeah. Look at it.
This is why, if you've not been doing this live, if you've not been watching the live shows and you've only been listening, this is why you need to watch the live, because I'd just like to draw your attention to what the fuck Spurlie are you wearing?
Yes, here we go. It's FAQ Errata Day. Yeah, this is like the transfer deadline day of the bolt action world. If we're not going to make an effort today, when are we going to make an effort? You know, look at you. You know.
Spurlie, you are the middle management of Bolt Action.
I'm not even middle management, mate.
Are you going to give me a performance review?
I am junior management. That's it. Let's not get above our station.
Spurlie is working in the office. That's it. I was working from home. You know what I mean?
I had to sell you a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a good vacuum cleaner, mate. It don't stop sucking. That's for sure.
Fucking hell. Yeah. Bo in the chat asked, "What will you wear for V3?" Come on, we need to. What we're going to do for V3?
V3, it's shirts versus skins, mate. That's where we're going with V3.
Skins.
We do like Bruce Bowl and just all come in topless.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. V3.
Yeah.
Wait, tell you what.
You look like a Mormon.
I look like a Mormon.
Mormon, absolutely. Yeah, to be fair, I'm thinking Jehovah's Witness knocks on my door at 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. Could you just fuck off, please?
That's it. I'd actually take Mormon because I'd have like 4 wives. It'd be great. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. You can barely find one, mate.
That's just more women to disappoint for you, mate.
That if I go cross-eyed, yeah, I've got 4 wives. Yeah.
Anyway, they've done it. There's a new FAQ out, so we're going to do an emergency episode to just talk about the FAQ. We're not doing a full episode. We're not going to do an intro and a what the fuck and all and lobby blah blah because we've done this as well. We said we were going to do like a sabbatical for a few months, and then literally the week afterwards, we'll all drop a fact. So I feel at this point they're just mocking us.
Yeah,
that is what this is. And so let's start. They actually dropped a fact. This is the first fact in what, a year and a half since September 2022. I believe.
September 22. Yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
That's it. This is the meta changing point. You know, people have been crying out for something different, and now we're going to give them kind of like, instead of Magnolia, we're going to give them Off-White. So yeah.
Okay. I think I would laying it down now. If you're expecting massive changes, be ready to be disappointed. Yeah. Not a lot changes at all. Also, before we get into it, my theory is this at least for me, this pushes V3 out at least to another year until 2025. Because why would you release an FAQ if you was about to drop an announcement for V3 in the next couple of months?
Yeah. I think a lot of the I've heard anyway that Achtung Panzer was far bigger than they anticipated in terms of the workload that they had for it, not in terms of the anticipation of the release.
I mean, when they spread out it so that they release one word per sentence per day, it's going to take a lot longer than they thought it was going to.
It's like the exact opposite of the old world, where like Games Workshop did fuck all, and then it was absolutely massive, and then Games Workshop went, oh shit, what? Whereas like this time, Warlord's done all this stuff for Achtung Panzer, and everyone's like, there you go, just whatever, you know. Yeah. So,
but I heard it took a lot of extra time and a lot of extra resource. So make of that what you will in terms of when V3 will be coming. Yeah. But it is very unlikely that the WTC next year will be V3.
Alex actually makes a good point that it is Warlord, so V3 could be out next week.
It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's this year at all, you're looking at a Christmas release.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I mean, they are Warlord. They could do it next week for all we know. But
to be fair,
I'm business head on. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking bollocks. But
let's say I've got my business attire on, so I can actually comment on it in that way. You know,
Christmas is the time you think that is the best time to release it because everyone gets Christmas money. Everyone wants it for pre-orders for their Christmas present. It makes sense to do it, but
if you try and do it over summer, you're just going to get cancelled out by whatever Games Workshop's releasing, and they're doing V4 AOS this summer. So, which hasn't had about 3 editions in the time Bolt Action's had 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
how many?
We've read the first rule book, played it, read the second rule book, played it, played the third, quit AOS, developed Old World, all built Old World armies, and learnt that in the time it's taken them to.
Well, you've also got like
the game.
how many different versions of Underworlds has there been
Yeah.
in
that's
that
on like
time?
its 7th season, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
it's like,
that's not right either. Like, Games Workshop shouldn't release so many versions either. I feel like there's a nice middle ground that I would like to live in, that neither companies are doing a particularly good job at, like, maintaining. So we'll see.
so if we merge the two like companies' names together, you want to deal with games, yeah.
It could be
Warlord Workshop.
Games Lord.
No,
Games Lord.
you've got Warlord Workshop or you've got Games.
Okay.
Yeah. Take your pick.
And also, I love that we're here to talk about the Martian fact. We barely started that, and the chat can only concentrate on your clothing, Spurlie.
Yes,
so,
mate. Yes.
Thank you for injecting that.
That's it. 50. We've got 15 viewers right now.
Take your top off.
14 of them are here for me. You know.
Yeah. That's.
Oh, undo that top button. There we go.
Well, you look like you're about to do a full Monty.
Oh, yes.
Dun.
I could Robert Baratheon this. Definitely.
Ulo, vous couchez avec moi ce soir.
Oh, don't you? Because if Aaron thinks Ewan McGregor's on this, he'll be hearing him like boom.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Right,
Yeah.
come on then.
Bo
Let's get the fuck up.
Bo makes a good point. We were going to just get into the fact and get it done with, and yeah, we'll spend about half an hour
We're
talking
going to
about
talk
this,
shit
won't
for
we?
30 minutes. Like, have you fucking listened to this, how we work? Just skip ahead. Get a time machine.
At some point, I'm going to have to give the viewers what they want. They are asking for some flesh. Look at it. Oh,
Go just
there we go.
look
Let's
at my
get
pasty white skin.
nice.
There you go. Yeah.
let's get that FAQ up. Well, let's start with the errata because otherwise Toph will get a bit angry that we getting it the wrong way around.
To be fair, Warlord have been quite good about errata stuff versus FAQ stuff this time around. I feel like someone at Warlord has heard my angry ranting. So,
But
it's
what
fine.
they have got erratas for books that don't exist, so
Love it.
that's good.
Love it.
They are after Dactyl Panzer, yeah.
They've also like added spelling mistakes. I've noticed, and there's just they've whoever's done the formatting has spent the last year and a half getting it wrong.
Come on, let's just get to the meat of it. I see the first change, which I hadn't even noticed until Dan pointed it out, because it's the tiniest little change that probably no one else has noticed. If you look, what is it, page 119, escape room? Look, there's a green word. Oh, come on, sorry, get sorted. There you go.
Yeah, give us time. Calm down, pet.
So come on, Dan, explain the change to me. I'm thick.
So, the rule is about wrecking from being shot, and how that if you move out of range, your shot automatically misses. And we all know that the recce is an odd rule. They FAQ'd it to be wrong, yada yada yada. But the change that they've actually implemented in here, it says just like a unit deciding to go down when targeted by HE. So in the rule book, the rules for going down from HE just says you may go down to half the hits, which implies that if you have an order dice next to you, you can still flip that to down and go down and half the hits, because it doesn't specifically say unless you have an order next to you. But now, because this is deciding to go down when targeted by HE, in terms of actually having a reaction to the shot, like you would say, I'm going to recce, I'm going down, I'm going to stay up, it actually makes a massive difference, because you actually have to waste your dice now.
I think that was always the case, but it's never been as clear as this. I know this was one of the things we had at the WTC. So I think this is one of those things where everyone's already played it this way anyway, which is if you're going to go down, you have to burn your dice to do it, as is right in the world. But it's nice that it is.
But there have been occasions, like at the WTC, where people say, I want to go down to half the hits. It doesn't say, I can't have a dice next to me. And that is true. But it's good that this is here to say, no, this is exactly how you do it. You need to be targeted, then declare you're going down, and done.
It still leaves the ambiguity of when you're not targeted, but the unit next to you was hit, and then the template spills over. In that, because they're not a target, they then can't go down. But that's always been a thing.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. Let's zoom back out.
That's it for the errata.
Yeah. Right. So thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you for coming to the Juggernaut Action podcast. We will see you next week.
So not much going on here. Oh, generic vehicles.
Yes.
I really like this in that it just evens the playing field a fair bit. Most armies won't give a shit about this page.
No. Well, I'll tell you what, people like Finns that don't have access to a utility car like a Jeep or anything like that, this is actually huge, because having this option for your flamethrower rather than buying a 50-point vehicle or a truck with no guns on it, these options are really big. So first one then, it's a truck. Woo!
Yay!
And it can buy a Pintel MMG. So think about your American trucks, British trucks, Soviets, all that sort of thing. These are now basically generic standard truck for every army, which is huge. And they can get an MMG, so it's a good way of getting an extra set of shots into your army.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's Hungarians and Romanians. Their trucks couldn't take machine guns on them, I believe.
Same for the Finns.
Yeah, for no reason.
Because nobody had ever seen them. You know, it's not written down anywhere. It's not on Wikipedia. Therefore, did they have MMGs on their trucks?
There you go. You see.
It doesn't take much to be like, I have a gun, I have a truck, and a spanner and a bolt. Let me,
I think it's a big change, that one. It's quite a good one. And then the utility car is a Jeep without any weapon options, so it's just a Jeep for your army. But again, for the armies that don't have it, it's huge. Especially when the Errata, is it last one, added in a bunch of... Oh no, the campaign book for Case Blue, added in things like the Romanian flamethrower and the Bulgarian flamethrower. It's actually really big now that they get these options too.
Yeah. Massey make a point in the comment. The best part of the truck is that the Pincer is 360, while most of the Axis ones are fixed in the front. This truck is still fixed in the front arc. So if you've got a machine gun that has 360 line of fire, like I think is that the US ones have the 360 arc for the Pinto. This is still worse than that, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, 54 points.
So it is forward facing. Yeah. I mean, you look at that and you go, why would you ever take an MMG team when for like 4 points more you can have it just on a truck?
Yeah, have it maneuverable, soft skin. Yeah,
exactly. The utility car, wicked. Everyone's got a Jeep now.
Yeah,
everyone's got a Jeep. Artillery tractor. The interesting thing about that is, I was looking through the Polish book, the Armies of France and the Allies, the Polish book today, and they've got that exact same unit for 50 points.
50.
Yeah.
Or you could take
I think it was like mid-40s or something. It was really fucking expensive, which is 6
There's
plus.
There's a couple in the American army that's like this as well.
Yeah, you can drag any gun, done. So I'm glad that, there's a cheaper option, which is only fair. And the horse-drawn limber...
Anyone ever takes a tractor.
Well, to be fair, 15 points, and it's 6 plus to kill, versus 10 points, which is 3 plus to kill.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got 5 points spare and you want to keep your thing alive... Yeah,
it's also not slow, so it can run away a bit better as well.
Yeah, and you get that extra 3 inches of movement versus the horse-drawn limber. Yeah. I mean, it's still just cheap shit you just take for a dice. So don't get me wrong, but it's nice that everyone has just the same options now.
If you did want to tow a heavy howitzer, you've got to take that horse-drawn limber, because the artillery tractor cannot do it.
It's only light and medium.
Yeah.
Who's taking the... Wow, I guess, yeah, you're right. So that just hooks up heavy autocannons, doesn't it? To be fair. Yeah, because I heavy... Well, actually, any AT gun or AT gun, it's only heavy howitzers it fucks over.
Yeah.
So fuck you in particular, heavy howitzer.
Yep, that's it. They don't like horses. Next up, Germany. 221, 222, 223. It's no longer open topped and got up by 5 points.
Le Massive.
and that's the same for the Sudikov, the 259.
Are they the autocannon?
So you know all
Hanomag.
these your little 7+ armored cars where you've got two, it's either the wheeled one or the wheeled and half track, where they've got an auto cannon and a coax machine gun. They're coming at around 100 points each. Now none of them are open tops. You've increased the points by 5 points. Suddenly,
and you would absolutely pay that 5 points every day of the week.
Well, there was one of them. I can't remember which one, but there was one that was fully enclosed and the rest was open tops. So everyone just took that one. I forgot. It's one of them. It's 250 something. Blah blah blah.
250-2, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. Now they're all like that. So it was funny. We was talking in the Juggernaut Discord today because Alex had two. And he was like, I don't need these. And he gave them away as price support for Beachhead. And now he's like, we get a shit.
Why you never give anything away for free, Alex?
Movies just said that the sales of the 222 have just increased. And that makes me think, are some of these changes on slower moving models on the Warlord line? The same way that Games Workshop will pump them out.
They released a plastic 222 like a year and a half ago, didn't they? Like, if you've got it, you've already got it. But to me... that's cool. They're a lot better now because you've got a 7+ fully enclosed vehicle with an autocannon and a coax machine gun. Wicked. It comes in at like 105, 110 points. Wicked. It's your armor car slot. Is it going to knock off the 40-point MMG bike, or is it that they do two different roles anyway, so they're not competing in the same space, but ultimately it's the same slot, right? Because to me, when I'm playing my Germans, I'm always taking that 40-point bike because it's so cheap for what you get. Suddenly, if you're going heavy armor and you're going right, I'm going to. Two Panzer IIIs and then two now fully enclosed 222s. That's quite a lot of armour. But
it'll be good in an armoured platoon, I think. It'll be good in an armoured platoon, but I think with the Germans you have so many options for multiple auto cannons, like the drilling, the Spackvilling, the Opel Blitz truck, stuff like that. I think this one is never going to get replaced.
Yeah.
If you want autocannons, you can do it better in a German army.
My thought is if you want to do, when people do like those like kind of pseudo tank platoons where it's just two normal platoons, but you take two heavy armoured cars, two tanks, and then you run basically a tank platoon in like a normal style event, like the British can do by taking two Staghounds. I just think if you was going to do this with Germany, by taking two heavy armoured cars and then two tanks, there's just other armies that can do that better, like Britain. So I think it's nice. I think it's a nice to have. I don't think it will make some massive difference in the grand scheme of things.
No, I mean for completeness' sake, then it's good to have it, and it's another option. And we always like having better options. We hate just seeing the same army list over and over and over again. So
I think it'll be good for those single platoon events. Where you're running out of slots, and you're running out of stuff to buy. In which case, fuck it, let's make the armoured car worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, you would, wouldn't you? You would.
Yeah.
Cool. Next one, then we're going down a bit more to the 250/4 AA half track.
Here we go.
So again, this is another unit that's being added. It's a armoured carrier with 2 MMGs, open top flak, 75 points regular. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
if it wasn't in the tank slot,
this
would be great. But
you get the Panzer 1 and 2, don't you, which is same sort of points, and it's not open topped. So
I was just going to say, I just want people to take note at this point where it says the vehicle is a German anti-aircraft vehicle. So it tells you who it's for and what slot it's in, and we'll just have a look at some unit entries later on in the FAQ.
Yeah.
It's nice to have as an option.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you're not allowed
down.
I was just going to say, if you're not allowed to take, if you're an event that won't let you take 8+s,
Yeah.
2 MMGs, scooting
down
around.
to the bottom of page 8, we've got Sherman Crocodile, which is the one that's the flamethrower. It is changed. It's gone up in points in the veteran.
No, because it's not just the Crocodile, because the Zippo early versions changed, the late versions changed.
So both of the veteran
Oh no, just the early
has changed.
Yeah,
but it's now.
The anti-tank guns are now gyro, which is really good.
What I mean, did people play them that they didn't have gyro? I've never really seen them.
I don't think they've got it in the army book, but I'd say I'll double check because the army book's just here.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could get the army book up on screen if people really wanted to. But
I'm sure they couldn't give a shit, to be
Yeah.
honest, but for my own peace of mind.
yeah.
Where
I mean,
I'm going.
that's the Sherman Croc with a gyro-stabilized turret-mounted medium AT gun, coax MMG, the Hulm MMG, and the Ford Hull-mounted flamethrower. Plus, you can give it the Pintle HMG.
Yeah.
Like, it's expensive,
Yeah.
but that's a lot of firepower.
270
And
points.
It's probably hot garbage still, because you still get that +1 on the damage chart that's just going to fucking hurt you.
It must be a campaign book unit because it's not in the army book.
Oh wait, it does not apply to the Sherman Croc, so it's still expensive as fuck. But like, it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, 304 points is ridiculous for a tank.
For a vet.
Yeah.
Down to page 13.
Yeah, nothing
They
for
now
Great
get an
Britain.
LMG team.
Nothing. Yeah, the Commandos get an LMG team.
Wow. Shut the front
alright.
door.
Because it's Tough Fighter and a veteran, so you could just use it to charge shit.
Yeah.
And it gets an extra shot, so it's actually an MMG team. So but it's basically a veteran MMG team. For
What are you talking about? Why would you ever do that? You know what's better than having Tough Fighter? Having a third bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
it's two-man dude.
what's better than having commandos with an LMG is just having 4 commandos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think in the commando list you can take little like really small little sub squads. I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Yeah.
Because the squad sizes are all weird for commandos.
One of the Danish lists that they submitted, I think it might have been Britain or it might have been Americans, where it was just loads of 2 and 3 man squads running around at veteran, and it was loads of dice. But I think you can do the same thing with the commandos as well.
I'd almost go as far as saying I'd rather have an MMG team than this LMG team. For the points. You know.
Yeah, for the points. Yeah. But then it's the same as it gets the same amount of shots as an MMG team, so you know.
If you can move and fire, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but again, machine gun teams are pretty shite. So
Okay.
down to page 15, France.
Oh yeah, look, here's
They
a nice
have-
bit of blank space. Nice bit of blank space there. Good editing. Good formatting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So France, page 85, their half-track truck, the Pzync 302, they get 6-man capacitors.
It's the Polish. They were 5. They're now 6. It is brilliant. If only we had something worthwhile to put in them.
Yeah.
Because we've got no Tough Fighters, we've got no SMGs, we've got no engineers. It's literally useless. The only good thing about it is you can now put 3 teams in it for when you're doing envelopment runs. That's it.
Can you buy a gun?
No, the 302 can buy a gun, but then it just becomes an armoured car. So the capacity means nothing anyway. So also, and if it becomes an armoured car, it's then competing with the tankette, so it can get in the fucking bin.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
it's still kind of useless.
you complain that you can't put Tough Fighters in it, so you buy the gun, make it an armoured car, and just take Lancers anyway.
Yeah, but
no, if I take the armoured car, I take a tankette. Yeah.
You just take the 7+ fully enclosed with the autocannon.
Well, yeah. Right, that's all on there.
For me, I mean, we'll get to it, but all the minor powers have gotten free shit for Axis. This one. Where's my Polish engineers? Hashtag just saying.
Look, just shut up. You've got a sniper team now. Get over it. Get over it. You've got snipers.
Yeah, but maybe if I had engineers in a truck, I wouldn't fucking need to take Lancers. Thought about that? Huh? No.
You'd still take Lancers.
Maybe I'll take 3 Lancer squads and 1 engineer team rather than just 4 Lancer squads.
But why? Because you can do it with 4 Lancer squads already.
Because the engineer team can take out a tank and the Lancers can't. There you go.
Moving on to page 17. Poland gets a sniper team.
Yeah.
I've already got marksmen.
They already have marksmen, which are better because they're 10 points cheaper.
But these guys have got a pistol.
Yeah, Tough Fighter.
Okay.
You've got a Tough Fighter in there.
There's another bloke.
The assistant has a pistol.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Usually snipers get shot by other snipers, so they die outright anyway.
Yeah,
so it's not amazing. I'd rather just have the 10 points extra from the marksman.
Oh, but the entirety of Denmark have said you're not allowed engineers, Toph. So there you go.
Oh, is that though?
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll turn up in the middle of the night for multi-launcher. You can run off crying.
Yeah. Next page. 18, halfway down. Hungarian cavalry can now charge. Woo! And you can also have an LMG for 20 points and a Panzerfaust for 10.
So they fixed the Hungarian rule so the cavalry can now charge, which is like brilliant.
Yeah.
Could they do the same to like the Romanians and the Bulgarians, please, while they're at it? Why fix the Hungarians?
All you had to do is put that in the Italian access, just put all references to this rule can go with it like this.
Well, no, because
and then it fixes all the armies.
No, because it's actually in the FAQ specifically just above this that says Bulgarian cavalry cannot move into base-to-base contact. So unless we're going to go down the recce route again and have the same thing 4 times different ways.
It's just I don't
why have they still got Panzerfaust costing 10 points when every Panzerfaust costs 5? Even ones that have been FAQ to say they cost 5 points.
Fuck you, Dan.
I was looking for that earlier to see if it was just a unit-specific thing, or whether it was there was actually an entire all book errata for it, but I couldn't find.
Well, there is a campaign book that says in all of these campaign books, Panzerfaust costs 5 points. So I don't know why they don't just change it to all the Fausts in the game.
Oh, because Fausts on horses, that's just come on, Dan.
You can't fire it.
You go break the game. Break the game.
You can't fire it.
So it's pointless. You have to get there, dismount, and then fire it, which takes 2 turns to do. So it's
only people with small willies dismount from their horses.
Yeah.
Why spend all that time?
Hungarian players would be used to it by now because their horses were useless. Well, there's some actually quite good Hungarian horse options in the last few books, which we all immediately wrote off because they couldn't charge.
Yeah, because some of them had some good options for moving before the game,
we might need to go back and reread those books because they might suddenly actually be quite useful now.
Yes.
But that's interesting. I mean, between this for cavalry suddenly getting a boost from the Hungarians and then the all the new rules from Case Blue, Hungarians looking quite tasty these days.
Yeah,
quite tasty.
Yeah,
which one gives them recce? Is that the Case Blue one?
That's the Case Blue rules. Yeah.
They get recce, cavalry that can charge, and improvised AT now.
Yeah. I know.
Really
the thing I don't get though is so many tournaments. Obviously, they release the pack and they go Italians. Yeah, mate, you can have the Case Blue rules. Wicked, but they never give those same Case Blue rules to Hungarians or
Hungarians
or Romanians.
Because
I was looking at what to take to obviously Welsh nationals. I was thinking, shall I take the Recce Tigers? But then only the Italians are allowed the Case Blue rules. No one else. I don't know whether that's just whether that's intentional, or whether that's just thinking, woo, Italians are not kind of...
There is one other army that's allowed the Case Blue rules, the Slovakians, because they're nowhere else. So,
good to know. Good to know.
If you want an all-inexperienced army that has no army rules, take Slovakia.
Put them next to your Greek army, I would say.
Yeah. Right, going down then. So... you can now, for Italians, take a P26/40 heavy tank.
Is it for Italians, though?
Air quotes.
Is it for the Italians? Because it doesn't tell me what country it's for. Now, the German
unit... It doesn't actually tell you what...
Well, technically, it would be... This is for the Italians and the Axis book.
Yeah, but
so that should be Italians, Romanians, Hungarians.
Yeah.
But only...
It doesn't actually tell you where it can be used except for the late 1943 to the end of war selectors.
No, it can be used in the generic reinforced platoon, but just not for which country. So
I'm just saying, I've got 2 points. One, if you take this in a Finnish army, that can be well fucking useful for them to be like, here's my medium AT gun.
Yeah.
Secondly, good luck getting that past the TO.
Yeah.
For anyone coming to not 5 sets back, don't even fucking try it.
But I'm just going on. The way that their own document is laid out throughout it, it specifically tells you German AA truck, and then this one is just a tank. And you could go, that's in the German book. This is in the Italian Axis, and like you said, well, then any Axis army that's out of that book, boom, gets the tank.
I'm also
gets the Fiat.
I'm a fan of any vehicle that calls itself heavy without having the armor to
medium.
match.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Japanese do that.
Normally a Japanese thing.
It's like the Mark IV.
It's so heavy. I like it.
The Mark IV heavy tank. Isn't it?
Yeah. Next one then, the Fiat 665 NM Protetto. Now, everyone knows
this is hilarious.
this is an Italian vehicle. It says Protetto, like the Auto Protetto S27 or 26, wherever it is. Again, doesn't tell you where you can use it, except that it's selectors set in Italy or the Balkans.
Yeah.
The Balkans, that's a lovely big area. Nothing ever went wrong there.
Yeah, there's not like 4 or 5 countries in the Balkans that this could potentially be used for, but yeah, and it's a 20-man armoured carrier for 90 points, and you can buy a Hull MMG and a Pintle MMG, so you can get it 115 points with double MMG. Owen has already said he's liking this vehicle, and he's going to dub it the Surrender Party Bus.
The fact that it's fully enclosed, which means you can't pin it, is quite big. Actually, I think this is for a 90-point half track. This is far more use than any other half track. In that, I wouldn't even bother buying it guns and stuff. I'd literally buy it regular, put all your squads in it. On your first turn, you do like a run. Second turn, get the fuck out. And just use it as like a kind of pretending to be forward deploying kind of thing.
Yeah, I really like this for putting 2 Gaustatori squads in and a flamethrower, and just going I've got 5 flamethrowers. You can't pin them on their way in. Deal with this.
Yeah. 90 points is a bit squeaky bum time. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, if that's what you're using it for, if you put an officer in there as well, you might potentially get away with inexperience, right? Because if a tank shoots you can't pin it anyway. Yeah, exactly. If an AT weapon's gonna shoot you, you're gonna die anyway. So just don't do that. So 72 points. I mean, for the price of one team, one team at the end of this, it might be an option.
The Surrender Potato on its own is like 60 points. So to have all of your eggs in this one basket that can't be pinned is actually a pretty decent option.
It's good for tank platoon. So you can just buy this once. That's all your transport sorted. And then you can just do what you want. And delivering fanatic black shirts to the front line. That's what this is for. Yeah, first turn, run. Second turn, get out.
Yeah, 20 tough fighter fanatics.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Next, Romania and Bulgaria. They now have a flamethrower team.
And
this is already given to them in case. This is already in case blue.
Well, this is one of those books that doesn't exist. An errata to the armies of Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria. It's a book that's not really there.
But it's nice though, because if you don't have that case blue book, you can now see the option, because it is a book that just gives you a generic unit, so that's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what would also have been nice? Polish flamethrower.
Whilst you have Lancers, you can fuck it up.
Yeah, keep it in your pants, mate.
They gave me a nice little Jeep to use. Come on.
The Tank War Errata.
More expensive sniper in it.
They missed the bit off Tank War where they said it's now called Achtung Panzer. So we'll skip that one. Frequently asked questions now, guys.
Ooh, this is the good bit.
I hope there's no errata in here, right, Toph?
Come on, right, shall I read the first one? This is very mouthy. So, a heavy autocannon on a rotating platform is shot at by a sniper, and a model is removed so that the crew are no longer in squad cohesion. Rules state that the unit must get back into cohesion by either an advance or run order. My view was that the artillery unit could be given an advance order to be able to keep the gun in place but move crew. I also pointed out that the errata confirmed that if autocannons were on a rotating platform, they could rotate on a fire order, and the crew could relocate from the gun barrel. My opponent stated that on an advance, the gun does not move, and the only way to get back into cohesion was to move the artillery unit by giving it a run order. Please could you advise how this should be played in terms of artillery units, and if this is different for those that are on a rotating platform? The answer,
can I just say, the first 5 words of this answer are so woolly, it is unreal. Carry on.
An advance order would suffice.
What is that? That's not I suppose that's okay if you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Fucking have time. So, and it follows on. Allowing the crew to redeploy and the gun to rotate and fire. For weapons on a rotating platform, a fire order could be used to rotate and fire and move crew as well. But only the crew that would be in line of fire. So whether that would get the crew in formation or not is situational. Now, as a ruling, fine, whatever, but I feel both the question and the answer misses the bigger point, which is, do you know, like when you make a unit or a squad out of coherency and it just says you need to reform at the next opportunity, what counts as an opportunity? Does that mean you have to do an advance or run order, or can you do a fire order and say, well, I'm not allowed to move, so I'll regather my force?
That's in here.
That's always been. Is that in there somewhere?
That is in there.
Because I've seen people argue about that for about 5-6 years now, about whether you're forced into a specific order or not.
Here you go. Yes, a unit that is activated when it's not in formation must either advance or run back into formation. If it fails the order and goes down, it must try again the next time it's activated.
Wicked. Okay. So fair enough. They go 2 and 2 together then, don't they? You must do it, and if you don't, and if you do it, you need to do an advance order. What if you're a heavy gun and you're in rough ground?
I was just going to say,
can't move.
I was just going to say, one of the things that came up at the WQT was a gun in cover, and it got shot out of coherency. What do you then do? Because that's not covered.
Another ruling in here says that a gun in rough ground can still advance to rotate.
Yeah.
So you can still do the advance order, so you can still recover. That's fine.
Yeah, I guess it all answers itself, doesn't it?
The alternative is we just give up playing the game and find something better to do with our time.
Old world, rank and flank, baby. Rank me. Let's go.
While we're at the top here, if I can take 3 bikes with a sidecar in a single armoured car entry, can I take 15 bikes in a single armoured platoon? This guy is thinking along the right lines. Yes, you can. Yeah, the answer though. Yes, you can, but the 3 that go in the command vehicle slot must all purchase the command vehicle. So,
but that's what. You just split the 3 up and you have loads of +1s across the entire board.
Yeah, actually,
75 points for the privilege, aren't you?
Yeah,
you see loads of meme lists of people bringing 15 bikes, but no one ever does it.
Yeah,
ever.
Now they can.
Like for those 75 points, you just make those 3 bikes and go, well, fuck it. That's 40 points per bike, 120 points. That's 220, and then another 75 points for the command. Suddenly you're spending 195 points on 3 guys. You can take fucking Sherman for that or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, it won't happen. You just take a Panzer III instead and slap that as your command vehicle. Done.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Okay.
Oh yeah, actually, no. I see what you're doing. Then. Just take 1 for the command slot.
No one's ever done it. No one's ever going to take them.
You'd just take it as 13 then, because you'd put 1 in the command slot and don't split it into 3. But then the other 4 slots, you put 3 in each one. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's such a non-issue.
Yeah.
It's like the Maui Gurkhas. It's the sort of the boogeyman. Someone's going to come into my tank with 15 bikes. No, they're not. No one does it because no one can be asked to build 15 Rubicon bike kits. They will die on the 5th bike. They will never reach 15.
If you say Maui,
massive pain.
Such a pain to build.
I built 1 and then immediately vowed to never build another.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There we go.
That's great. After you built it for 4 hours.
Yeah. Next one then. An armoured car is if attacked in combat, the person gets a damage result that results in causing an extra pin. How many pins are caused? Is it 1 or 2? Answer: it's 1 because you haven't been hit to cause a pin. It's just the result that causes a pin. That's it.
Yeah.
Which is the right way of doing it. It's the way that everyone's been playing it, but it's nice to have it in writing.
I just love how big the question is. For just
you cause
combat doesn't cause pins.
Yeah.
Sorted. Yeah.
Next one. If a unit is in a building, does the 1 inch distance between the unit rules apply? So if you're in another unit, if you're in a building, can another unit approach within 1 inch of it?
Yeah.
The answer is, in general, it's good practice to keep units at least 1 inch away to make things clear.
That is such a stupid answer.
It doesn't answer the question. It's good practice. It is good practice to do that, yeah. But what is the rule? Because technically, you're not allowed within 1 inch of the building. But it doesn't make sense to have a massive church with 1 officer in it and say, right, that building is now
or even worse, have a massive church with 1 officer behind the building, which means you then can't go into it because you'd be within 1 inch of it. Especially when you have like a building with 2 sections. you have a unit in one section, technically rules are written you can't have a unit in the next section because then they'll be within an inch of each other. So this is a great opportunity for Warlord to have been like, when it comes to buildings, we ignore the 1 inch rule. Fine.
Yeah.
We didn't do it. They just went, it's good practice. You know, it's good practice to shake hands with your opponent at the start and the end of the game. It's not in the rule book though. Like,
no.
That's worth less. All that's done is going to make people argue about it now. It'd have been better to have not written it.
Yeah. It's not in the rulebook to shake hands, but we do shake other things. But you've got to come to one of our events to experience that.
Yeah, like this was asked for the WTC, and because it's such a stupid ruling, we ruled it. If a unit is within an inch of a building, that doesn't stop someone going in it. It doesn't make sense. Like the officer example, that kind of stuff doesn't make sense. And also, in the rulebook, it says if you're in a floor below, you can assault a unit above. Well, how could you ever be in a floor below because it's technically within an inch? You know, it's just.
But at least if they wanted to keep things clear, they only had to use either 2 letters or 3 letters, either YES or NO.
Yeah.
Because it specifically says, would this unit prevent the unit entering the building as the unit entering the building is breaking the 1 inch gap rule? It's either a yes, in which case the 1 inch gap does apply to buildings, or it's a no, in which case the 1 inch gap doesn't apply for buildings.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, they should
answers.
They should answer all the questions like we did for the WTC. We got the question in and we reworded the question sometimes to make it a question like, can I do X, Y, or Z? Or what is the rule on this, this? Can it be this? And we started every single answer with yes hyphen or no hyphen, and then give a short answer to say, this is the reason why. And this, we did this with, like the building. Can I approach within an inch of a building? Yes hyphen. It is unfeasible to have an officer in it and count the whole area as occupied, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Tony pointed out. Tony's just pointed out we missed one because.
I was going to catch it because Dan got excited. I'll cover this one.
Dan got so excited by 1 inch, didn't he? He loves it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Hey, let's put the last podcast. 1 inch matters. Your missus is lying to you.
Yeah.
There you go. So I intend to move a wheel.
That hurt.
I intended to move a wheeled armoured car. I mean, you could have just said vehicle, but whatever. When turning the vehicle, I rotated on the vehicle centre and then measured the move from the distance from the hull. My opponent felt this was wrong, as by rotating on the centre, I gained 1 or 2 inches due to the length of the vehicle. My opponent suggested measurements should be taken from the centre of the vehicle. So I also get this one. So I actually have still got my chart 2C on me, which we can use as like a diagram, right? So what you should do is you should move in a straight line, do a turn, and then keep going, right? So if you look there, the distance here to there is massive. I do a turn, suddenly the distance from there to there is less massive, right? So if you're looking at an 18-inch range, that could be, say, 20 inches away. If you do a turn, suddenly that's 17 inches away. So it does have a practical issue, especially when using tanks as big as this one, right?
Yeah.
Basically,
and the answer they gave it...
All the question needed to be is, can I steal 1 to 2 inches by turning? And the answer would be yes.
The answer is... Yes, vehicles can indeed gain a couple of inches when pivoting. This is fine. Measurements are from the hull, not the centre. Now, this caused a bit of a hubbub in the Discord, in the Juggernaut Discord when we was discussing the fact earlier today, because Womble had always been playing it in such a way that you would never get the extra inches. Now, it's fine for him because he plays teeny tiny vehicles like that, which when you just,
like your tankettes,
like a tankette, it makes no difference.
Essentially,
but when you're doing big vehicles like this, or or LVTs, or like the giant. Potato bus we've just spoken about, this is going to make a massive difference. But for me, it's always been clear: move, turn.
Well, that's what it says in the rules, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Pivot at any point around the centre.
Yeah, I'm going to take the turrets out before I break it.
I don't understand what the like.
So I get it because especially when you've got a 9-inch tank like this, it feels wrong because you're getting that much extra movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how else are you supposed to do it? Especially when this thing's slow, it can only move 6 inches. Unless you're going to put rules for wheeling in, like in fantasy. But that's not going to work either because, you'd literally be making shit up because those rules are not in the rulebook. It's quite clear. Move 90 degree. So I think it's kind of, it is what it is. And maybe it is a bit unfair for someone who spent 200 points on a 9-inch tank. But there's no other way of doing it. It's move, turn, duff.
Yeah.
So it's. I like that it's in there for clarity's sake, but I got a feeling everyone was doing this anyway for the most part.
Anything to stop our
Yeah.
Like, if someone tries to play this and say, "Oh, you're getting an extra 2 inches, you have to deduct your move by 2," you just go, "Well, no, that's not how the rule works, mate."
Yeah.
And it just saves the fight, doesn't it?
It does mean if you're a wheeled vehicle, particularly if you're a big one like a truck, if you got a run move and then you do a turn halfway through, you're actually going to get a fair bit of movement, right? Because you're going to go 12, 9, do your turn, you've got your extra 2-3 inches, do your next run of 12, you're probably actually going to be moving closer to like, what, 25, 26, 27 inches than 24? So, I mean, it's very, very rarely going to come up, but this is very, very rarely going to be a big issue. But at the same time, nice to know.
Yeah.
Keep in mind.
Next question is one that I've had a number of, we'll call them discussions about at events. Mountaineers assaulting into cover. Do they go first? Now, I think general consensus around these parts is yes, they do. And now, if a unit treats rough ground as open and assaults a unit through it, the assaulting unit goes first in the assault. I mean, it is in the rules if you read it right.
This has always been one of those things where it doesn't feel right, but the rules have always been quite clear, because to charge, to get the defensive positions rule, the charging unit needs to have to either go around something or slow down. Yeah. Because they ignore that rule, neither of those two happens, they always went first.
That's it.
But to people who weren't expecting that or weren't aware of the war, this was a proper slap in the face, right? Yeah. So I'm glad it's here for clarity's sake, but to those in the know, high and mighty, it was always this way. I know we've spoken about this for years on this podcast.
Well, that was it. As soon as the Budapest Jaeger came out with the rule, it was just like, right, bang, boom. We know what they're doing. They are running across the board. They are charging people in rough ground. They are charging out of rough ground. They are going first. They are killing stuff.
It must be mentioned, though, that there are certain units out there that it specifies they ignore rough ground for the purposes of movement, not treats rough as open. So these ones that, like the Jaegers, specifically say treat rough ground as open ground.
Yeah, that's right.
And there are some that don't have that magic sentence in, or that magic bit of wording.
Well, another thing I've just noticed, obviously a lot of mountaineers specifically have, like, they treat, anything you agree with your opponent as a hill as like open ground. Whereas the wording on this FAQ is actually kind of overly permissive, and it just says cover. So that could potentially cause another argument, in that you could be like, oh, well, just the FAQ just says if mountaineers are charging to cover, they go first. Well, to me, you should still be taking that what kind of cover it is into account for those units that require it. So I like the clarity.
A building's technically cover.
Well, yeah. For 99% of people, this is clear. That 1% maybe knobheads about it, though. Just get ready with your beating stick for your opponent when he's a knobhead about it. Do you know what I mean? Just whack him over the head.
So you just need to print out page 22 of the FAQ. Just have that to hand.
Yeah. As I say, for those already playing competitively, though, I don't think this makes a difference.
No,
because it was already an accepted thing.
Yeah,
it's when you go to those.
Same as the next one.
What is the next one?
Where is next one is page 28.
Ugh.
So, if a squad with 2 flamethrowers in it fires, Guastatory, hello, and hits the target with both, does the squad being hit take 2 lots of D3+1 pins and take 2 morale checks, or 1 of each? And the answer is, as pin markers are worked out after the firing unit has finished firing all of its weapons, flamethrowers, rifles, one imagines in this case, the target only takes D3+1 pins instead of 1, and takes 1 test regardless of casualties, even if hit by multiple flamethrowers fired by the same unit. This is another one where I think we all kind of knew that. Good to have it in writing for clarity's sake.
Again, this is another one that at the WTC we had this a lot. I had emails about this from several people, and it was asked in the captain's chat, and I had a couple of messenger messages from a couple of captains as well to say, what are we doing with this? It's things like, if you've got a weapon that inflicts 1 pin, 1 that inflicts D3 and 1 that inflicts D3+1, how many pins? It's always just the highest potential pins.
Yeah.
You just do it once. That's it.
Yeah. And it always should have been that way, right? Because we know from a tanks with a machine gun and a HE, it's not D3+1 pins, right? It's always just you pick the highest. That's what it's always been. Yeah. So it's a good one for clarity. Yeah.
All right. Oh, Moody saying
tank riders.
Moody's saying, do you roll 2 dice and pick the highest? No, that's not what it
you
says.
roll 1 check.
Yeah. So
because everything you do, say like you've got a squad that contains a rifle, a medium howitzer, and a heavy howitzer. You could say, well, I'll roll for my medium if it rolls a 3, and then if I roll my heavy howitzer, it rolled a 1. I'll choose the medium's 3 because that's more pins. No, you choose the highest maximum 1, and you roll it once, and that's it. So you will have 2 flamethrower hits. You roll 1 of the flamethrowers and see how many pins you do. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So anyway, let Toph
Tank Riders.
cry about Tank Riders being FAQ'd again, incorrectly, again.
This is hilarious. So, a T-34 with Tank Riders is in a deployment zone, and there is going to be preliminary bombardment. I fucking hate prelim.
Yeah, just delete it.
Yeah.
Oh, so much.
Do they stick or jump off and go down? Also, if an FAO picks the T-34 as a target... So, I'm pretty sure FAOs pick points on the battlefield, not units, but whatever.
No, you pick a unit as your target, and then you draw a second point away from it as a kind of bubble.
But then if you pick no, because if you pick a unit and then the unit moves, technically, if you're saying that the marker would move with you.
Forward air observer. Air observer.
No, because forward artillery observer is the same.
FAO.
It's the same. It's the same thing.
Same acronym, yeah.
So again, forward artillery observers pick a point on the ground, not the T-34's target. Yeah. Anyway, either either. Do the tank riders skedaddle or stay on the tank and hope for the best? And the same question for artillery barrage near the tank. Do they jump before the dice rolls or wait to see if the tank gets a direct hit of the artillery comes in? So basically, like kind of like when they're kind of targeted but not. I guess is the question. What counts as being targeted?
Yeah.
In all 3 cases chosen above, the tank riders have to disembark before there is a chance for the tank to be hit and damage caused. This means before you roll for that tank for a preliminary bombardment, for an airstrike, as soon as the type of aircraft attacking the plane is determined, for an artillery barrage, as soon as the tank to be determined to be within the radius of the artillery barrage. Yeah. For the artillery barrage and the airstrike, fine.
I agree, yeah.
I agree. For prelim, it does feel a bit harsh on them. But at the same time, I kind of see it, and also you shouldn't be playing games in prelim because it's shite.
Yeah, see, that rule would be fine if tank riders were allowed to re-embark on a tank. Like if you get prelimed, you disembark next to it, first dice of the game, you get back on the tank, and then you drive the tank off. That would be absolutely fine, in my book. But if you're not hit, you're not technically part of a target. You're just in the area while the barrage is going off.
It's hard for me to give a fuck though, because tank riders don't pay points for their ability to ride tanks.
No,
it's just a free upgrade.
Yeah.
So like, if there's 1 or 2 missions at the event where you deployed them and you didn't leave them in reserve, and then you get fucked by it, I'm kind of like, whatever. And also, if you put your tank on like the 12-inch line, and then you disembark your troops because your tank's been hit, your troops then can't be hit because they've disembarked first and they're now outside your deployment zone. So you're still getting a benefit.
Can they run off, or do they just get D6?
There you go, straight above. Look, Model Force dismount must be placed within D6 of their transport. Yeah. There used to be a time when they could run off, and it was fucking stupid. And that was like 3-4 months between various facts.
Yeah.
I
actually think this is the best FAQ question there is, because they've used the word skedaddle in the question.
Agreed.
So
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Next up, we've got another change to Tiger Fear.
It's an okay change.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those ones. Did anyone actually play it this way?
Well, in the old rules, I think Tiger Fear, it was even caused even if you were in a transport.
Yeah.
I've never played it that way though.
I've never played Tiger Fear.
I've played Tiger Fear a fair amount with my Tigers, and I've never played it like, oh look, you're in a vehicle.
Yeah, so if you're getting out of a vehicle, you would get in Tiger Fear.
Because for me, it was always, if you're not inside a vehicle, you're not on the battlefield, and therefore you're not affected for shit like that.
There wasn't
in the way of turret jamming prelim. Gotten rid of.
In the previous FAQ, it said that it was the same question, but the answer was yes. If you're in a transport on the table, you get Tiger Fear. It's just they're a bit inconsistent with it, because into vengeance you still count as being, you can still count as being a tail for being within 12 inches for doing your vengeance roll even when you're inside a vehicle as well. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. So it's like vengeance yes, Tiger Fear no. Which there. So that's it for
So
that
the
one.
answer is passengers do not have a line of sight when they're in a truck or in a vehicle. So
which is always what it should have been. If you were playing the other way, you're in knobhead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, but they were playing to the rules as laid out by Warner.
Yeah.
So
next one is Armies of France and the Allies, page 34. Partisan bombs. If a partisan bomb is in a building, what is the range of the bomb? And the answer is the bomb is in the building. That is it. It only targets units that get into that building, not within 6 inches of the building.
Come on! Why we know multi-launcher this shit?
Yeah, treat it like the Bogvar. Just everything within range just goes boom.
Not anymore. Spoiler alert. Not anymore. I mean, I think I've played Partisans 2 or 3 times the past 4 years.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's not a thing. I know Mood is listening, and he's going to be like, "Fucking my Partisans got no." Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Moody says, "Don't put them in buildings." Fair enough.
Yeah. Just put it next to the building, and it hits everything anyway.
Yeah. And Jonathan Forbes says, "What we actually need are Parmesan bombs."
I love a bit of cheese.
Yeah.
There we go. Just spray your camembert everywhere. There you go. That's what you need.
Yeah. Right.
God.
What we got
next one. All books. Naval observers are changed again. Their cost is now 180 regular and 195 veteran.
I thought that's what it was.
Some books have it.
Yes, because I think the Naval Observer in the case blue for the Soviets was cheaper. I know we had a bit of a laugh about it, and we thought, well, it's probably for the best because they can't get it for cheap like the British one can.
Yeah.
And they've just gone, no, it's the same across the board now. Again, it's kind of a non-issue because I think Naval Observers have been out of fashion since the you can't take them for free nerf came in. Yeah. So, maybe if you're playing 2,000-3,000 point games, do it. But not 1,000 points.
The only time you'll see a Naval Observer is when you see a captain or a major at the same time.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Next one, Case Blue. Bicycle and motorcycle infantry from page 109. They are just standard points, so they're 50 points reg, 65 vet.
Yeah.
And then one of the best changes in the FAQ, and probably the best one they've errated in a long time, improvised AT. When rolling to penetrate enemy vehicles using AT grenades or heavy weapons with a +3 pen, with a less than.
That mean I get to fire all my rifles at a truck and re-roll for sixes?
Yeah. Everyone knew what the rule was. The rule was +1 or +2 pen. That was it. Now it's just any heavy weapon.
No, Dan. No, +0's a number.
Dan, well, we had people arguing for the WTC. If a gun is at long range and it was a +1, now it's a 0 because it's at long range. Do you still get the improvised AT rule? Or if you're firing a heavy autocannon, which is +3 at long range, and it's now +2, do you get the reroll for that as well? It's just like, no, mate. You know the rule. It's very, very clear. It's just, if you've got a tank gun that's not quite as powerful as a big enough gun, you get to reroll.
Can I just make a point again for those listening in the back? It's the penetration stat of the gun you're firing, not what its current penetration is once modifiers have been taken into account. So if you're at long range and you was a heavy gun, guess what? You're still not getting the reroll because you're not a +2 gun for heavy autocannon players out there. Stop it. You're being naughty. Next one I liked, Stragglers. They never had a home. Now they've got a home. Romanian's 3rd Army Selector can take up to 4 of them.
No, that Army Selector doesn't actually exist. The Thurs Army Selector, it's the Romanian 3rd. So
you can also stop it. Because you're just being a knob.
I think you'll find. Rules as written. This is why I'm here. I am the stats man in my shirt and tie. I am like, yes.
Your shirt and tie really adds to that level of just rules.
The job's worth a lot. Yeah.
I think you're regulation.
Yeah.
The Third Reich was pretty shit, but the Third Reich, oof, that's a good one.
Yeah. Oof. The Third Reich just got a bad name, just because, by association.
I prefer the furry Reich. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Next one, Slovakian Army special rules. As the Slovakian Army does not appear anywhere else, players must use the Army special rules from the page 134. And that's basically it, really. Because they don't have an official army book or anything like that, that's where you have to take them, and you can take them as a generic pursuit.
Fuck that. I love the idea of your mate's turned up with his perfect Slovakian painted army. It's golden demon level. It's absolutely fantastic. 3 layers of highlights. It's a beautiful work of art. He's got his historical data for every unit. He's named every single one. He's ready. And you go, sorry, mate, I'm not approving.
Yeah, that would be great.
It would.
Next, D-Day US sector. Late War US Armoured Rifle Company Reinforced Platoon. It can have a mortar carrier. It has the M21 mortar carrier alongside the M4 mortar carrier as well.
What's the difference?
I think one's a medium, one's a heavy.
One's 17M's better than the other.
Yeah. Those M's make all the difference.
Yeah.
Where are we? Talk amongst yourselves while I find it.
What's the difference? I need to know. Addy's currently slagging me up in the comments. So
an M4 is a Pintle HMG and a rear-facing medium mortar.
Yeah.
And an M21 is a Pintle HMG and a hull-mounted front-facing medium mortar. So basically, you can fire both guns at the same time without being backwards, because it's Pintle, so you can fire at 360 anyway.
Okay. I've learned something new today. Thank you.
So yeah, the M4 you reverse around the board. The M21 you drive forward around the board. Yeah.
It's because it's not as cheap as the British mortar carrier. That thing is fucking great, and everyone else's mortar carriers are like 100 points, whereas the British one's 64. It's great.
Yeah.
Don't ever Warlord. I love it. Don't do it.
It's competing against the Stuart, which is like 15 points more.
Yeah. Toph.
Yeah, it's never happening. Never happening.
Warlord aren't listening here. Come on.
No,
but someone might, and they'll email it in and they'll ruin my fun. Don't do it, guys. If you're listening, don't fix the British mortar carrier, or even better, bring everyone else's mortar carriers down in points to match the British one.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do.
So 116, page 117 in the D-Day US sector. Delete D-Day only special rule.
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't know what that D-Day rule is.
That's meta breaking. That is actually meta breaking. Yeah.
Do we know what it is? Yeah. Do we know what it's referring to? We should have done our research.
We should have done.
I'll get it. Let's have a look.
Let's move on to the next one whilst we wait. Next is Empire in Flames. Just a couple of sentences down. Page 46. Jeep. Add following transport 3 men. So I'm assuming it didn't have a transport capacity.
Jeeps carry 3 men?
Well, as they've got the generic Jeep up above, they should have just said, see that. And just reference the same thing.
I love the idea that you turn up to your game and someone's like, they've pulled up their Chinese army. Excuse me, that Jeep doesn't have a transport capacity. Show me the rulebook. Show me. And then you just like, get out there. It's like, no, it's not what it said. Some twat looks like Spurlie. Do you know what I mean? Just ruining your fun.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
The D-Day only special rule. That is the M1919 light machine gun may not be taken by Ranger squads.
Massive change.
Literally couldn't give a fuck.
Literally never been used ever.
I'm struggling with how little I give a fuck about that right now. Actually, it's hurting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Next one.
Budapest.
Yeah.
Budapest. Now, can you specify in which selectors can the terribly worded? Can you specify in which selectors can the Hungarian parachute assault squads be used? They can be used in can the can Budapest can pocket can defenders can selector can. Okay, and Red Storm.
You knocked that can out the park.
Oh mate, thanks.
Yeah, can do.
That was a proper can. That was
can DJ. So yeah, it's just where can they be used, because it doesn't give you which theatre selectors they can be used in. So again, good for clarity, but yeah. And then the biggest set of erratas.
God, there's so much. How much of this actually matters?
Well, first of all, there's a bunch of stuff that is points changes and adding like weapon options and giving people the option to take rules that should be in their unit entry, but they're not. So we'll ignore most of them because it's things like Maori veteran should cost this. You know, the FEC French officer should get the option to take Legion and Esprit de Corps. So all of that is largely irrelevant. There's a couple down the bottom which are vaguely relevant. There's
one about the who cares? There's one. So the two important ones are the Gurkha one and the Borg Lord. The Gurkha one basically just clarifies that draws against fanatics don't count as a win, which I think everyone assumed anyway. Good for clarity's sake.
Yeah, even if you do, you just fight again. So
exactly, because fanatics don't lose until they're dead. Yeah, the Borg Lord. I think it's sad because it was stupidly over the top, ridiculously poorly written in like the favour of the Borg Lord players beforehand. They've now kind of like toned it down. So here's what you do. This is the chartreuse is back, right? This is your Borg Lord. You drive it forward. You place your bomb. Well, you drive it forward turn 1, end of the turn. Next turn, you activate it, place bomb, drive away, explodes. And it's only things under that template that are hit. Because it used to be like, you target another unit as everything within 6 inches of the target, and it was all like, well, if you target a building, it's a massive footprint, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, no. Now, it's just drive up, end turn, next turn, place your thing, back off, back. So, it's
That's
already...
awful.
It is a little really turned down, because also, if you think about it, if you've got a second unit, obviously you've got to maintain the 1 inch gap, which means you're only going to be able to use 3 inches of your template. So you're still auto-hitting them with a heavy howitzer.
Yeah.
But you are, and you're paying, what was the Borg Lord? Like
70 points?
Yeah. So it has use, because, you know, when you've got that Japanese unit in hardcover that just won't fuck off, just drive right up to it. Boop. Yeah. But, yeah, it's...
I think it would be so much better if it's just choose a unit within 3, place the template over them.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Yeah,
because it was ridiculous before. It was choose a thing and then everything gets hit around it.
They've also added though. It hits at strength +5, not +4. So it's a big bada boom, and it also 4d6 against buildings, which is hilarious. So if your opponent's a cunt and has put the objective in a building, there you go.
That's your one target for the game.
So on 3 dice, it's I think the average is 11.5. So what does that make it? You're averaging, 14?
On 4 dice, it's 14, yeah.
14, yeah. That'll do, pig.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that'll do. If you Borg Lord an enemy building and don't blow it up, you officially have a small PP.
Yeah.
That's just facts, man. It's in the look. It's in the fact. It says
when
it right there.
When you roll that quadruple 1, you're going to cry.
Yeah. So it's just like the scenario stuff now.
Yeah, next is a couple of data collector clarifications, and then I don't know how you FAQ a scenario, but they've managed to get scenarios wrong. Yeah. So they've added a bunch of clarifications.
I hate the answer to
that's correct. They have.
Oh my god.
Yeah. This is, when you want clarity, you want somebody to cut through the trash.
There we go. So, canister rounds. Fucking probably the worst written rules in bolt action currently. The FAQ above deals with hard cover, but reading the rules about ignoring soft cover and small team, it implies that you still apply other modifiers. Moving range down. Is this the case? If range is countered, I would interpret this as point blank for templates. 1 and 2 for 0 to 6 inches, and 4+ for 3 to 4 over the half range weapon. Is this correct? And the answer is, yeah, that sounds like a good interpretation.
Wow.
Why didn't you just put yes? Full stop.
Yeah. Just do yes.
If they just said yes, it wouldn't even be a talking point, would it? Because you'd be like, right, they've just gone. This is it.
This is the FAQ equivalent of you asking your wife, "Can we have sex?" and she pulls out her phone and goes, "Yeah, we've got 10 minutes."
This is the marriage equivalent of where do you want to eat, darling? Oh, you choose. No, I didn't ask that, did I? I want the fucking answer.
Where do you want to eat? Oh, I don't mind. Let's go Domino's then. Nah, I'm not in the mood for bread and cheese. I just thought that you could have just said that.
That's exactly it.
Domino's.
You've got it bang on there. That is exactly it.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Good interpretation. Yeah.
Let's move on. Scouts in New Guinea, they can exchange their rifle for an SMG now for 3 points.
Is that the Australian Scouts?
Page 91.
By any chance?
Is that page 91? I don't know.
Or is that the like the Nil Scouts, or is
It's
that
after the Nil Guerrillas, so I assume
is it the Japanese Scouts?
It's page 91
No,
Scouts.
I think it's the Dutch with the American Forces Scouts.
It's just the Scouts.
Okay.
You know, Boy Scouts.
Okay.
Girl Scouts.
I mean, I'm a big fan of forward deploying units though, so being able to fully deck them out with SMGs could be a good option. Depends how they fit in and stuff.
Yeah. Or if you've got like the small squads that are like 2 or 3 men that are just running around being a fucking pain in the arse.
The anti-sniper unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one is all the way down in Western Desert on the very last page. MMG Alf Klaringsgruppe. Recon vehicle and open top special rules should be removed. Just replace it with the recce special rule. Aren't they 6+ anyway?
Better late than never. This rule has been fucking stupid for ages. Exactly, yeah. Sheffy's been going on about this unit for nuts. You know, it's the unit of like the 5 or 6 little cars. Yeah. And like it says recon vehicle, which was never in the rule, and it says over the top when they're 6+. Yeah, so that's so stupid. And for everyone's been like, just treat them as recce. So again, I think this is one of those ones where everyone who had a head on kind of just treat them as recce anyway. It's good to have it in writing because some people just love an argument. Yeah.
And then last one, SAS infantry section from page 136 of Western Desert.
Yeah.
The composition reads 1 officer and up to 3 further men. Change to NCO and 3 men.
So you can't take like 2. You can't take 1-man SAS infantry squads.
Yeah, I think it's just because I think a few people might have been saying it's an officer, as in a lieutenant, rather than an NCO, and trying to claim bonuses and stuff.
Yeah,
SAS on one of those units in bolt action that you wish they were really cool. You wish you could do like the North African like airfield raids and do it like the films and be really cool and stuff. But every time I've ever played with SAS or against SAS, they've been so underwhelming. Because like, here's my 120 point unit with all these rules, and you go, I've hit you with a heavy autocannon, I've killed 3 of them, and the last one fucked off. GG. Like, it's just
I did that. I was playing Tony, and he had the commando, the actual like officer unit, 5 men, and I just sniped the officer out of it, and it was pretty pointless after that.
Yeah. Speaking of pointless, that's the end of the fact. This is the first fact in like what, 18 months? What's your thoughts, gentlemen?
It's the first one we've not had to rag over.
It's been pretty. It's been pretty. I mean, that's my kind of thing. It's kind of inconsequential in that the only major things is that a couple of armies have got a few options they probably should have already had anyway.
Yeah.
In terms of how I'm going to play the game, negligible.
Yeah, no groundbreaking changes. There's a couple in there that are nice clarifications.
Yeah.
Like you say, they should have already been played that way anyway. Like the going down from HE, the clarifying the improvised AT rule.
The Mountaineers.
Mountaineers, yeah. But overall, a good FAQ. It's just a shame that they've brought it out so late, for one, and it's a shame they've brought it out at all because it probably means V3's pushback.
Definitely.
But you know what? This is what an FAQ should be. It should just be mild clarifications that don't change the game and just help you get through the game without having to, slap your opponent and challenge him to a duel in the car park. So
if anyone from Warlord is listening to this, go and download the FAQ that the WTC did, and just read it and see how you should set out a question and how you should set out an answer, because some of the answers you've given today, whilst they are technically correct, wording like that sounds like a good idea or why not,
that'll do, donkey,
that's not how you should clarify a question for a game like this. It should just be yes, no, and then an explanation as to why, or even just yes, no, and that's how people play the fucking rule. But hey, it's a good, it's great compared to the previous one, so we're happy.
That will do. That will do.
Yeah. Yeah, Warlords FAQ star. Fuck it, go on then.
Yeah.
Go on then. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
There we go then. Anything else to cover? So this isn't going to be a full episode. We're not going to do Hobby Lobby or anything. We literally just wanted to come out and just chuck this out in the void for everyone to have a listen to. Catch our thoughts on the FAQ. Any closing comments before we fuck off?
No, I think we've sold out, not 5 steps back, haven't we?
We have
sold. Got a waiting list.
We had a refund, and that then sold out immediately to the waiting list. So, if you do want to get
on the waiting list,
there's nobody on there at the moment. So, if you do want to get in,
sign up for the waiting list, guys.
At the time of recording, list submission is on Saturday night, so it is 3 days away. Yeah. So good luck with that.
Yeah, this FAQ is in effect for not.
Yeah, because list submission has not happened yet, so this FAQ is in effect. So if you've already submitted your list and you want to change it, email in quickly before Saturday to be like, oh shit, there's an FAQ, I want to do this. In all honesty, though, what's it going to change? I don't think we had any Hungarian lists submitted anyway, so like, whatever, it's fine.
You might get a couple of people that have a late change. They were thinking of doing,
they'll change their
Romanians, and now they'll do Polish or something because they've got the options.
Or they'll change their SDFKZ blah 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 to a 222 or a 259.
Yeah. So if you need to do that, let us know. Otherwise, and as I said last episode, that turned out to be a huge lie. We was planning to go on a bit of a hiatus for a while because we've done so much recording in the last month, and frankly, I'm bored of all of you. So I need my space, man.
We couldn't not do this one though, could we? Really?
No, of course not. That's fine. So come and hang out in the socials. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts. If you think I'm wrong, and if you think that Polish engineers should die in a fire, come talk to me about it. I will have that argument with you because I like to watch the world burn.
Yeah,
and I like to watch my Polish watch the world burn as they're burning with a flamethrower. That's the dream. So there we go. I know I said it's not like a proper episode, but I hope you've got a joke anyway, Dan, because otherwise we're going to be here for like forever, because that's how we end.
Do you want me to end on a joke?
We have to.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to ask like ChatGPT for a joke.
Okay.
I mean, I've got one lined up that I've told a couple of people earlier, but I'll probably save that one.
Can I just say, I really liked Matt's joke on episode 60.
Because it was at my expense.
The 3 dwarfs and the smallest penis one. That was fucking great.
Took a while to get there, though, did it?
Well, it always does when it comes to me.
Yeah.
That's why I need the 10. That's why I need the 10 minutes. Greg was asking me why I needed 10 minutes. That's why. When it takes you 9.5 minutes to get up, use your time wisely.
Yeah. Okay, so my joke then. A woman's waters broke on the way into the hospital, and she gives birth in the car, and there's a few complications on the way in. She gets to hospital, and the doctors rush her to emergency to try and rescue the baby. After about an hour, the doctors come out, and they say, "We've got good news and there's bad news." And the mother says, "Okay, give me the bad news first." And the doctor says, "I'm sorry, but it's ginger." And she says, "What's the good news?" "Don't worry, it died."
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.